Aloha everyone, this is Arado and we're here to talk about Pumpkin Kami and School Souchou. I wanted to highlight some of their important aspects and what they can do today in global and how they can help you to a certain extent with how JP looks like right now. Before we start, I want to do a quick segment about what's going on in West Maui, in Lahaina town. As some of you may have seen already in the news that there is a brush fire that's happening in Lahaina. Unfortunately, it has burnt down most of the town. That this has resulted to a lot of people losing their house, and there's also some casualties reported. For the most up-to-date information, you can visit the website I have put in on this scene, mauiinformationguide.com/mauifire.php, and it would have all the information you might want to know of what's going on right now. And also, if you're able to donate, that website also has all the organization and the different groups that who are actively working with people who are affected by this incident. So if you're able to donate, that would be very, very much appreciated. Or if you can spread the word about the website, that would be appreciated equally, because there are a lot of scam donation links in the internet that I wanted to make sure that people are redirected to the legit and correct websites to make sure that the donation goes to be able to help those people in need. And also for those people who have reached out to me, checking on my status, I also greatly appreciated that. While I'm not affected by the brush fire in Maui because I live in Oahu, I still feel responsible in a way that I wanted to make sure people know what's going on and where are the resources on how you can help these people in need if you wanted to. So again, any ounce of help on this is greatly appreciated, and of course in Hawaiian term, mahalo nui loa. Alright, so let's go back to the original topic for Pumpkin Kami and School Souchou. Before we start, I want to give a quick shout out to Daisuke-san for the Summer Asellus and Summer White Rose artwork. When you have the chance, please visit Daisuke-san's Twitter or X page. He posts some of his work and also some of the other artists on Twitter. There are a lot of them and they're all good. I'm slowly asking their permission to hopefully be able to share those when I create videos or stream. Alright, thank you so much, Daisuke-san. Alright, let's start off with Kami. So with Kami, as we all know, skill number 2 and skill number 3 have been buffed in a way that they include a 2-turn debuff to the enemy. And with skill number 2 and 3 being an AoE, that it becomes really effective, whether it be I would say the best application would be for bossing, and if there are more than one target in a battle, that it would still be able to apply that for all of the targets. So we already know what Thunder does, where it does a defense down, the temporary one, where you would be able to do more damage as you do hits into the enemy. So I had to highlight that it's hits because, for example, if you do 4 random hits to the enemy with Thunder, that they would be debuffed 4 times with defense down for that turn. And skill number 3 is something new. It applies the Intimidated debuff to the enemy. So Intimidated, when the enemy does an action, it would debuff itself with an attack down for 1 turn. So basically, if the enemy does a lot of action for the turn, like Pumpkin Kami, that Pumpkin Kami would do a little less damage as he does more attacks for the turn. I'm gonna be trying to fight Pumpkin Kami as I try to talk with what they can do. So for Pumpkin Kami, I think Intimidated is a high value skill I mentioned that in my written review on Reddit, where anybody with attack down is something I would consider as a high value, mainly because attack down is very rare as a debuff, whether it be a single target or AoE. And with Kami being able to do it as an AoE, although it has a condition for the enemy to perform an action first, is still, I think, very valuable, that it would still be of help with survivability. Other than Intimidated, looking into future Kami. So as we know, future Kami is more of a burster, where he would, sorry, I am referring to Kami as a he, even though the gender is unknown. So Finale Kami is more of a burster DPS, where in a hard content scenario, you would want him to be able to do Shukusei, or skill number 3, so that he would do a 3 to 4 random hits on a single target, and also be able to dish out as much damage as he can. So he goes well with Overdrive Party. Now, if you have Pumpkin Kami right now and you plan to pull for Finale Kami in the future, I think it would still be of value, where you would cast skill number 3 from Pumpkin Kami, and then Finale Kami would still continue to be able to chain with whatever skills is designed for him, because he depends on whether he's doing an overdrive or he's doing an he's doing an overdrive, or he is doing an attack where his HP is full or not full. So regardless, I would think that it would still have value, especially if you're trying to play safe, that the enemy would keep on getting intimidated. And as you know, it's a 2-turn buff, so as long as Kami is able to perform the enemy, or outspeed the enemy rather, that I think it would be a safe route for your party to be able to survive better. If you saw my Souchou and School Red showcase, I didn't had Kami in that video, and so I was struggling with damage, and I had to retry a lot of times, mainly because I couldn't survive the damage with just debuff and buff cleansing. That having Intimidated very much helped, as you see now that the damage is quite low. And also I'm adding Moral Down from Rock Bouquet as well, so include defense boost in the rotation, and that would allow you to survive the damages better. That's how I see Pumpkin Kami in the future, and that's the reason why I opted for Pumpkin Kami in global, in preparation for that in the future. Alright, let's move on to Souchou. So Souchou, as many of you know, is the 10 BP I guess giver. I don't know the correct term because it's not a buff. So he would give 10 BP in exchange of that skill being delayed, and also he gets a heat up out of it. So the value of 10 BP right now is pretty low, mainly because it's something that you wouldn't be able to take advantage of without the max BP being increased. That's why I added Shirei's picture here, because you would want to compare Souchou and Shirei with one another, because Shirei would increase your max BP by 10 and also would give 10 BP to everybody else. Souchou would only give 10 BP to everyone, and then would give would give heat up to himself. While, you know, having that skill being delayed, there are some advantages to that, where your party would be able to act first and be able to use some high BP skill and be able to take advantage of the 10 BP. I think the risk here is having proper defenses. So right now I have Kami doing Intimidated, and then I also have Melissa doing Pure Barrier and Water Lily that ensures Souchou doesn't die. In my video, Souchou is always close to dying, and I was lucky with the RNG with Narwhal's daughter proccing the small effect heal with skill number 3. So that was a clutch heal. So yeah, I'm not sure whether you have enough jewels to be able to pull for Souchou or Pumpkin Kami to be able to prepare for the future. If you don't have any of these styles, as you know, Souchou doesn't have any future styles, so you're safe in that avenue because we are expecting to see Shirei soon once we finish Liam chapter. So if you don't pick Souchou, you have Shirei, you're gonna be good. For Kami, if you wanted to go for Finale Kami, then I would think that Finale Kami in himself, that he is pretty standalone, because like I said, his main design is being a burster DPS with Shukusei and follow up with Tenbatsu. I forgot the English name again. Heaven's Wrath, I think. So Tenbatsu for full HP or Kirameki for non-full HP. And he would keep on stacking attack boost, defense boost, and BP +1 depending on the element that he's using. So really his skills are more than enough for him to perform really well. Having Intimidated just adds some extra utility in him in a way that he would be able to help with the party survivability, not just preparing himself for bursting. So knowing that we have Souchou now and Shirei in the future, that even though he doesn't gain any BP +1, you know, assuming that he gets the vanilla style from the finale, the vanilla design rather, that he wouldn't get BP +1 from doing either thunder or heat, that it's still fine. I think that he would still be able to cast Intimidated a lot of times, rather than healing himself with Kirameki and not do much. That kind of extends his shelf life, I would say, because I have used Kami a lot in JP, especially until I think Spiral Tower 180, and also some of the hard fights that were released in JP and events too. So yeah, having Intimidated would be a plus, but if you don't have the resources right now, it should be fine, and by that point we should have some select tickets, and hopefully you would be able to pick Kami from there, because the 4.5 year select ticket in JP, we got 3 tickets where it was until December of last year, I believe, or 2 years ago, I think last year, because I was able to get November of last year, because I was able to get Esper Girl, and also I picked Tsubaki and School Will because of Scrum Guard. So hopefully that is also applicable to us once we reach the finale point of Liam chapter, or at some point where they give us select tickets that you would be able to get Pumpkin Kami at that point. You won't be losing as much without Pumpkin Kami anyway, so it's gonna be fine, even if you're gonna go for Finale Kami. And again, Souchou, if you don't have the resources, it should be okay to skip. Shirei would save the day later on, but having Souchou right now means that you gotta have proper defenses, and so with proper defenses he would be able to gain the 10 BP and also be able to unleash some of the better skills. You know, most of the better skills are high BP cost anyway, so having that would be a plus, and at this point of the game it's not really necessary, but definitely once Shirei is out, definitely go for Shire, because the battle design in the future would be very much designed around Shire giving BP plus 10 and your party using some of the high cost skill. And yeah, for Kami, I would think that having Intimidated, you would be able to help the party survivability a little, along with the multiple defense boost casters that we would have in the future. So right now they are still ramping up the damage with the water dragon and firebringer, that it's a lot of defenses that you gotta bring up, or how they designed it with Summer Anya and Summer Orlet, where you can cleanse your debuff automatically, and also Orlet would be automatically applying debuff to the enemy. Well, it would apply a debuff, and then when the enemy does an action, that the enemy would be debuffed. So, and then there's also Summer Judy, where Judy just does a lot of debuffing as well. So they're trying to bring back debuff, make debuff great again. So having attack down from Kami would greatly help, along with the defense boost and with the debuffing capability. And also having Souchou right now would allow you to practice that you would bring Souchou all the time, because in the future with Shire, you would also bring Shire all the time. Alright, that's about it with this video. Again, thank you so much for all who would be checking out the MauiInformationGuide.com. Again, thank you for those who also checked on my status, and also lastly, thank you for Daisuke-san for the artwork we have on display. Thank you so much again, everyone, and see you in the next video or stream. Peace and love.